And one time he was a drunk driver with no victims.
He should have been deported the first time, and he was.
He doesn't have a right to be here. He didn't commit a felony.
He doesn't have a right to be in this country.
What? But that has nothing to do with the fact that he was drunk.
He should have been deported. He should have been deported.
See it changing. Sometimes it's not for the better.
Many of them are certainly making a contribution in providing needed workforce. But at the same time, if they're here illegally, in many cases they're not paying taxes other than what they have to pay on the food they buy.
A solution to our immigration crisis, which we agree with you, there is an immigration crisis.
And, you know, there was something happening there at that time that was a little different than is happening today, in that many, if not most, of the people coming at the time were like my grandparents and perhaps like yours. They came here for, yes, an economic opportunity, undeniably. They wanted a better life. But they also came with a strong desire to actually disconnect from the old and connect to the new. To a certain extent, and we don't know how large an extent, but to a significant extent, that is not happening today. And that the many people coming, in fact, choose not to disconnect. And it is easy for them not to.
I also know our country is on fire, and the fuel is illegal immigration.
And the chief of police in the small town under siege by the pro-illegal alien Open Borders lobby says his community is being overrun by criminal illegal aliens and drug gangs.
We are dealing with an illegal alien crime wave, and drug smuggling is just the beginning.
Virginia Beach still in an uproar over the deaths of two young women killed by a drunk illegal alien with an extensive criminal record. Immigrant labor cost the taxpayers today $19,000. Each of us pay $19,000.
They put a strain on our Social Security, our education, our health care.
The high cost of medical care, social services. There are efforts underway to end gang violence in many of our communities in this country, especially those where cross-border violence by criminal illegal alien gangs is now running rampant. At the same time, a rising number of states are tired of waiting for the federal government to deal with the issue, and they're passing their own illegal immigration rules. Casey Ryan reports on the anti-gang conference held in Los Angeles, ironically a city where police are barred from asking a criminal gang member's citizenship status. Bill Tucker reports on states that actually pass tough anti-illegal immigration legislation, much tougher than lawmakers in Washington are even talking about. That Governor Spitzer's efforts to give away driver's licenses to illegal aliens in New York will lead to massive voter fraud.
These are people who believe that the American Southwest belongs to Mexico, that we don't have a right to enforce our borders, and who do nothing more than try to sabotage our sovereignty.
12 million illegals who come across the border. Many of them have diseases, and they're not checked. You've got malaria, dengue fever, Chagas disease, polio is coming back. They even had the plague in South Texas.
You say that the greatest invasion in history, the third world, et cetera, talking about the invasion at our borders, and I agree with you.
We are in a war with Mexico right now. They're the only ones fighting it, of course.
It wasn't just a dozen folks who are ensconced in the ivory tower who believe that the Southwest is Aztlan and it belongs to them.
We're looking at 10% more people here in 10 years than we have now, all foreign nationals.
I think it is almost inevitable. If we do not put a fence on that border,
I agree with
you're going to have 100 million Hispanics in the country, most of them new immigrants from Mexico, which believes that belongs to them.
If they're an illegal alien, they're not an American and they're not decent.
And then this big, vast wave of low-skilled, poorly educated people illiterate in any language, no high school degree coming into the country.
What jobs do the women and the children do that we have to have them here, other than the children's job is to dumb down the American children and overpopulate our schools?
The number of illegal immigrants in our prisons was increasing and the financial burden rising. 3 of our reports covered rape or sexual predators in the context of illegal immigration in this country.
Now they're importing drugs and illegal aliens.
7,000 cases, active cases of leprosy.
The number of cases of leprosy in this country.